We will start with in-person media first.
Wes, I think Spencer was 2 for 24 or something his last healthy season and in clutch threes. How did that last play go from your perspective?
Went well. Went very well. He had a rhythm. We were just talking about it. At some point, everyone made big plays. Everyone had a stretch. DB got it going early. Obviously Spencer late. Trez had a stretch. Kuz had a stretch. So it was good to see. It wasn't relying on one person. Obviously, we're missing a big piece of our offense tonight, but next man up mentality. The guys stepped up. Everyone made big plays. We got a few timely stops, but it's a gutsy win. It wasn't perfect by no means, but we'll take it. I think we can learn from it. It's better to learn, obviously, after a win, but to show some resilience, to get down and have to kind of battle back. It's kind of a gut check for us.
You mentioned the kind of timely stretches, and it was Kuz coming up and Bertans coming up at the right times. What do you kind of attribute that to? Is it players having a good rhythm, having a good sense, or just, a lot of it luck?
I think some of that, obviously we can put certain people in certain action, but, once they kind of feel it, they see the ball go in, it takes on a life of its own. And we got guys who can keep us organized, so they'll read the flow of it. And we did that tonight for the most part.
I don't think I've ever seen Davis Bertans get to the rim as much as he tried to tonight and, take on Dorte in that ISO play. Is that something you guys have been working on, or you've been kind of pushing him to say you can do this stuff?
He's been doing it all preseason, actually. I think he understands he can stretch the floor, but the game plan for him is a shooter. So they're going to run him off the line. So instead of settling, taking tough shots, which at times he can make, he generates a better shot by just driving, collapsing the defense, and finding the open man.
A lot of the guys who made plays came directly from that trade over the summer. And so I know you talked about that before a little bit, but what does it mean to have like 5, like the players who returned in the trade were basically like 5 legit role players? Like, what does it do to have that kind of depth and for them to contribute like they did tonight?
It's a tremendous asset. At times we have to navigate playing 10, 11 guys, and that's not easy, but to know that you have your depth, somebody's in foul trouble, if the game's not going well, you got another option. So it's a good problem to have. And they've all played meaningful minutes and playoff stretches. So they're battle tested. So I feel very comfortable, with mixing and matching, depending on what the night brings.
Yeah. And you were kind of doing that like in the final minute of regulation, just mixing magic profits. I know most coaches do that, but what did you like about that?
Well, I mean, you want to put a guy out there, at certain times to give you the opportunity to do certain things. And if he's a scorer, he can stretch the floor, do that. If he's got maybe a better defensive acumen, you want him out there late. So playing with offense, defense, late game situations, it's good for us. And I think we'll get a better feel for who can do some of those things as we go.
Speaking of depth can help you withstand injuries. What does it say for you guys to beat a pretty good team over there without Bradley Beal?
It's a tribute to them. We knew this morning that it's probably unlikely Brad would play. You still hold out hope, and then when you know for sure, but that's not our concern. I mean, it's regardless of what happens. I told those guys we have enough in that locker room, so we've got all we need. And obviously, when we get guys back, we'll be better for it. But it's a credit to their resilience and the fact that we fought and they just kept fighting, and we gutted it out.
Only 9 turnovers, only 1 missed free throw is that one near the end. How important was that given the margin for error tonight?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, we had a hard time getting stops. So, any opportunity is like that is big. We can take care of it. Obviously, we're not beating ourselves. So at least we can generate a little bit of offense. Making the free throws at times, I think the other night against our last preseason game, we left 10 on the table. So, those are valuable points. Tonight, we stepped up and knocked them down.
Spencer's had some big shooting nights in his career, but he hasn't really been like a high efficiency guy. Are you seeing some growth in him, maybe post injury here?
I think he's just, getting his legs back where he's strong enough now, and he knows how to play angles, how to create separation. He's a big guard. So even with, size on him, once he gets, leverage, he can turn the corner, he can get downhill. He's obviously tonight, he showed he can, step up and knock shots down off the bounce.
And I know it was only limited minutes. I think he played like 10 minutes. But what did you make of Corey Kispert tonight?
Corey was great, and I think he's one of those guys that, he's a plug and play guy. Defensively wasn't perfect, but nobody was tonight. So he stepped up. He was able to buy us some minutes, get some guys some rest, but he was also able to hold water. He knows how to play spatially. He's kind of in that vein with DB, where he's going to drive, kick, respace. When he's open, he's going to make the right read.
Early in his career, I know for rookies, it's kind of tough acclimating. What particular keys are you looking at? Just kind of little things that he can pick up just to kind of improve as he kind of goes day by day.
Well, he's improving his ball handling. And, I talked at length during the preseason about his ability to cut. That's an added dimension that we didn't see in summer league. So, it's incremental growth, but I think the game is starting to slow down for him. So he knows, what's an open shot. At times, young players, the game feels fast, the length, the speed, the athleticism of defenders. They feel like they're closing in on him, especially as a shooter. I think he's learned to slow down and make the right reads.
Why did you want to go with Aaron in place of Beal in the lineup?
Just to give us balance. I think, having Raul, Aaron, basically you have 2 point guards in that second group, moving Spencer off the ball at times, with Aaron on the floor in the starting lineup, gave us a little bit more flexibility. It also gave us 2 guys who could really climb into the ball, be, harassing, change the tempo on that end.
What did you think of the home crowd today, the energy in the arena?
It was awesome. It really was. And it's been a long time, obviously on the road the other night, but toward the end of last season, just feeling a full capacity crowd, that's the way it should be. But to have that at home on a home opener, get a win like this is great.
We only have time for 2 questions, so we will go to Neil and then Christos.
Hey, Coach, first at the end of regulation, when there was like 10 seconds left, did you consider taking a timeout?
I did. My concern was, got a rebound. We're pushing, we're flowing. Defense wasn't necessarily set. We didn't get a great look, but, at times you take that timeout, now allows your opponent to make substitutions, set up their defense. They can deny, switch, take you out of what you want to do. So it was just a gut call. And those type of situations, just have to read it.
And what was your message to the team at halftime? I'm sure the first half defensively wasn't what you wanted.
Oh, no, neither was the second half. But the message at halftime was the same after the game. The first team to get defense into the game will win. And we got a little bit better in the second half. So bottom line, it was a gut check for us, and we were able to hold on and get it done.
Thanks, Coach.
Christos?
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win tonight. How big deal for you as a team is to win games like this without your leader, Bradley Beal?
Oh, you know what? It's great for our group. That just validates the fact that, our depth is important. And that depth, our flexibility is going to win us some games. No, we don't want to be without your best player ever. But, when it happens, and at times it will, this proves that we can get it done.
That's it. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Your first home game as a Washington Wizard. What do you think of the atmosphere?
Man, I thought it was great. I didn't expect that many fans to come out, honestly, just from looking at preseason, and man, I was definitely wrong. The fans that came out, showed out for us, really, really needed them, especially in those key moments and, end of the fourth and overtime, and they helped carry us. So, I thought it was great. And, we were even shocked on the bench. We were like, yo, it's gonna be turned up this year. So, definitely was surprising.
Wes said his message to you guys once you started realizing that Brad wasn't going to be able to play was, we have all that we need. How does your kind of mentality start shifting when a guy like Brad's going to be out, and when you kind of start thinking about that?
It doesn't really change, honestly. I still got to play defense. I'm still trying to guard people, and I'm trying to rebound as much as I can and just be aggressive. And, that's just, how I have to play every single night. And obviously some nights going to be different than others. Obviously, Brad being out, I can still be aggressive, and my volume is going to be higher. If he's in, playing, it might be lower, but you know, I'm going to play the same every game. So, yeah, no really switch.
It seems like depth is going to be a potential strength for you guys this year. What does it say about your depth to win a game against a pretty good team like that without Bradley Beal?
I mean, it was definitely a team effort. Definitely a team effort. Obviously, me and Spence had big numbers, but you know, Neto came in, balled out. DB, he got out of his shooting slump and hit some big time shots for us, and especially that one to you know, in overtime, that was huge. Trez is going to be Trez, and you know, we just had a great night, just timely defensively. We definitely need to be a lot better. You know, 134 points, that's extremely high, but we got stops when we needed them, and you know, a win is a win, and you'll take that. So.
And you guys, you mentioned the defense, but you did limit turnovers, only 9 of them, and only 1 missed free throw. How important was that, considering the margin for error?
Damn, I missed the last free throw, huh? That's crazy. No, that was a good night. It was definitely a good night for us. 9 turnovers. You're gonna give yourself a chance every single night if you can, you know, keep it under 12. You know, that's kind of always a general type of rule. So, you know, obviously with that, we did well. You know, could have rebounded. We rebounded, you know, pretty well. You know, that's definitely an area, especially when we go small and, you know, we're playing teams that are going to go big like that, or got a big horse in there like Sabonis. So, yeah, no, we gave ourselves a chance to win tonight.
And you mentioned how Neto, he played really well tonight. What do you think of, what are your early impressions of him as a teammate? I know last year and so far this year, just kind of the energy plays often tend to stand out.
Well, I always thought he was a good ball player. And he's great for this ball club. So, you know, going back to my days at Utah, being in college, and I used to always go to Utah Jazz games, and he didn't really play too much, but, you know, I thought that even back then, you know, when he got in games, he did pretty well. And he had just, you know, you could tell who's a player and who's not. And obviously being a teammate with him, and him having a bigger role. You know, if you look at him last year, a lot of times, he played the 4 a little bit on offense, and he can really handle the ball. He can set guys up. He makes a smart play, and he can score. Very underrated scorer, and I think we've seen that tonight, and also versus the Knicks in preseason. So he's big for us. He's great, tough-nosed player, plays hard, and you know, somebody wanted in Foxhole.
When a team loses like Russell Westbrook in a trade, obviously that's a great player that they have to replace, but you know, the 5 of you that came here, all super talented. What does it do for a team to get that much back in return for a trade? And what do you just kind of make of the guys that have come here? And
I mean, you got to do that trade 10 out of 10 times. You know, if you have an opportunity to get, you know, 5, you know, good basketball players for one, I mean, it makes sense. You know, granted, you know, obviously a Hall of Fame player and everything. He's an unbelievable player. Don't take that wrong, but you know, especially for a team like Washington, if you know, look at the track record for the past couple of years, you know, hasn't necessarily been, you know, ball players here. And I think that, you know, having guys, you know, obviously Spence coming in, Trez, Aaron Holiday, everybody, you know, everybody has a chip on their shoulder. Everybody's, you know, played in, you know, kind of meaningful games in this NBA, and, you know, smart, you have to do it, you know, if you're a GM.
I know you weren't here last year, but can you get the sense that, like, does it provide new energy? Like, is there like an excitement, or what do you kind of notice when that happens?
I mean, it's big time, you know, and it's not even about, you know, the crowd and fans. And obviously that's going to come when you win ball games. But, you know, I think when the 5 of us came here, you know, we wanted to, you know, obviously we all have chips on our shoulders. We got a lot to prove to ourselves. And the most important thing is just coming in and changing the culture. You know, that's what you talk about. You know, obviously me and Pope coming here, you know, winning championships, and, you know, just you have to have a certain type of mentality to play winning basketball in this league, and it's win, because it's tough to win in this league. You know, I've been on both sides, bad teams and championship teams. So, you know, it all starts with that culture and building something and having a sturdy foundation. So.
You've said that it's going to be your guys' defense that's going to take you through a really long season. Wes said it wasn't exactly where you wanted to be tonight. So given that, what do you kind of take overall from a win like this, where the defense wasn't there, but you guys were still able to kind of pull it out?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just, being resilient. I think that goes a long way. That doesn't show up in box scores, and it doesn't show up on defensive ratings, and doesn't show up on Twitter. It doesn't matter. It's something that, it's in you. And I think tonight was a great stepping stone for us. Obviously, no one's perfect. Everyone's human. You're going to have mistakes. And, we had plenty of mistakes tonight on the defensive end, offensive end. And, we just, kept our head high the whole game, stayed in it, and, just pulled it out. And I think that's the biggest thing you can kind of take away. So.
Kyle, 2 double-doubles in 2 games for you. Is this kind of the start you envisioned for yourself with the Wizards?
Well, I've always kind of been a rebounder, going back to college, and over the past 3 years, I've kind of, been fighting AD, Brian, Dwight, and JaVale for rebounds. So, having a situation where I don't have to fight, and those dudes, they steal a lot of rebounds. So, I've been able to just come in and just play my game and just play free and just do what I do. Obviously I'm going to defend and I'm going to rebound. That's what I hang my head on right now. And offensively, I mean, it flows. Just try to flow. So,
Thanks.
yeah.
Neil?
Hey, Kuz, I'm curious, at what point in the game did you hear the crowd start chanting Kuz?
I think it was early. I think it was my first 3, actually. My first 3. It was light, but, it picked up.
And then anything going through your head when you had the one where it went in, it came out, and then went back in again?
Man, just shooters bounce. I mean, that's all that really kind of happened for me. I had a couple of those tonight that went in and out, but I'm just thankful at least one of them fell. So we needed it for sure.
Thanks, Kuz. Congrats.
Yep.
Last question to Wayne.
Hey, Kuz, can you talk a little bit about, you guys go down 6 in the overtime and just the mental toughness? Can you just talk about how that helped you all to finish out the overtime?
I think if you look at the court, we've had a lot of guys that are on the court that have kind of been there, been in situations like that. Trez has played in big games. Obviously me and Pope, Spence is very, very dynamic and has been in this league for a long time. And, when you get down like that, it's not the end of the world. You have to think that way. Obviously certain situations, you at home, you got the crowd going crazy, and then, they get a layup or a 3, and then just all the air of the room gets sucked out. That's going to happen. But next play, you have to have that type of mentality to win in this league and win big in this league. And I'm just proud of our guys that, we hung in there and we took blows, and, we withstanding them and, came out top.
Hey, thanks, Kuz.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kuz. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Davis, you had a big dunk. You got to the rim a couple times. You called Neto off your guy and took an ISO player on defense. Have you been working on expanding that part of your game? We're not used to seeing so much of that from you.
Well, you didn't see that much last year. I think mostly the years before I've been capable of doing that. As you know, I wasn't in the best shape last year, and that was the main goal: just come in, get in shape, put focus more on defensive end, and eventually if the offense works out, it works out. But we all know that this was one of the exceptions, that we let the other team score that much and win the game at the end. But if we keep the team, well, it's not going to happen always, like Toronto keeping it 83, but I think if we can keep under 100, that's, for a team like this, that we have so many scoring options in offense, we can actually win a lot of games that way.
Spencer set you up for a really nice 3 there in overtime. What have you kind of figured out or learned about just playing with him and his kind of passing ability?
Well, he's a guy that, well, he can score from all 3 levels, but he's really quick first step. He can get to the rim, and that's what the moment where the defense had to collapse, and that's a type of game that I enjoy, actually moving around and finding the open spot and just be ready to catch the pass when it comes.
Just generally, what have you made of the additions that you guys have had, like Spencer, Kuzma, and all the players that you guys received in that trade? Basically, what is it like being around them and getting used to their games?
Man, first of all, great guys, and that's what Tommy's been saying, and Ted as well. the goal was building a team with great character guys, and just to have, like, first of all, a good chemistry on the team, and then of course good basketball players that's needed. But I think it's been really easy kind of find a good chemistry on and off the court.
Does a game like this kind of show the depth that you guys maybe lacked last year?
Definitely, I think the depth helps. We got basically some positions. We got 3 players that could get minutes any night. You know, Brad was out as the next man up. Corey got his minutes. He played well, I think. And yeah, like that's the biggest difference. That, you know, one goes down, we got plenty of players step up.
After the game you had against Toronto, sort of an off shooting night, what did it do for you to kind of see the ball go through the rim early tonight?
That felt good, man. The rim expanded a little bit after the first one go in, and then the second one, and you know, definitely a good feeling. And you know, in practice I've been shooting a lot, so it's nice to actually pay off during the game.
And kind of how would you characterize this win, beating a good team like that without Brad?
That's definitely big, as I said, when he goes, like, especially your main guy goes down. You know, Spence stepped up, everybody else coming off the bench, bring the energy, especially being down close to the end, down 6, coming back, getting the overtime, and the same deal in the overtime. You know, I think in the previous 2 seasons, if you're in that position, we kind of folded and, you know, took some bad shots and the game was over, and we just prevailed, kept fighting and got the win.
And what do you think about Raul Neto's performance tonight? Just kind of the energy plays he provides off the bench.
Not just tonight.
Yeah.
He's either his game or practice. He brings that energy. He's crafty. He's always in everybody's, you know, business. He makes it tough with the other teams. You know, he pulls out some crazy fadeaway, whatever those are. You know, it's just and he makes them. You know, he's confident in his ability, and that definitely helps. You know, sometimes when you feel like the offense isn't going well and you still get 2 points at the end or 3 points, is great.
And after playing in empty gyms for a while, what was it like to hit that big 3 in overtime and throw up the threes and all that?
Definitely. I just told the guys, like, imagine last year you made that shot, like you're about to win the game and you just hear the speakers just like, ooh.
And I have after your stop against Duarte, do you know who Wale is, the rapper?
I've heard of him, not
Oh,
really
okay.
listen to his music, but
Okay,
at
because
least I know who he, like,
yeah,
he's a rapper, yeah.
just curious because he went crazy, courtside there.
I don't have anything to follow off that.
Neil?
Hey, Davis, can you just take us through a little bit more detailed the overtime shot that you hit? You know, Spencer kind of got up in the air, was in trouble a little bit, and then you kind of, you know, just took the step back. Is it all just fluid and you're doing your own thing, or what's going through your head?
Well, yeah, as Spencer was driving, I just try to keep the spacing on the 3-point line in case he needs to throw it out. I had McConnell on me, so I think it was an easy pass for him. And yeah, after that's, like, when catching the ball, I couldn't really decide what to do, whether I'm going forward or back. And once I felt that was McConnell, you know, after that step back, it just, like, felt like nobody was guarding me at that point, and felt like somewhat open shot.
Thanks, Davis.
Last question to Christos.
Hey, Davis, great game. Davis, what kind of statement for you as a team is that win, with the way that you won tonight and the resiliency that you showed against the Pacers?
Well, we don't really care about making any statements or anything. It's just it's definitely good to start with 2-0. But before this game, Brad said also, you know, forget about the previous game. We go out every night, fight, try to get a win every night, and that's what matters. You know, the more you forget about the wins, I think the better is and easier it is to kind of get ready for the next one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Davis?
Spence, you had 2 big moments. The first one to kind of tie things up, force overtime. What'd you see from that one at the end of regulation?
I mean, shoot, like, we needed 3. So, I mean, every decision I make is based on, time and score, how the team's been playing. All those things are factors. So, obviously I was shooting it well tonight. We needed 3, time and score, get one up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give us 2 for 1 opportunity. Simple as that.
You guys have kind of been saying that it's going to be your defense that carries you throughout the season, but to get a win like this tonight with the offense and kind of everybody pitching in, what do you take away from that, especially at this point in the season?
It was good to have everybody click, especially with Brad out. We needed obviously every single point. I mean, just collective effort. I think, along with our defense, that'll be a calling card. It'll be, welcome when Brad gets back, because obviously juggernaut score. But we need everybody doing their job.
Besides the obvious, the ball going in the basket, what was working for your 3-pointer tonight? Sorry.
No, I mean, I guess you kind of took away my answer. No, I mean, I think, people are going to guard me a little bit softer because, they don't want me in the paint and getting layups or throwing lobs to our bigs. So, being a little bit taller, and with the work that, I've put in on my jumper over the course of my rehab process, understanding, the longevity of my career, like, just gotta trust your process, let it fly, and live with the misses.
And what was that work like to go into your jumper? Like, what are kind of some of the things you did?
Oh, I mean, I've been training with my uncle Unseld since I was probably like 11 years old. We always try to be hypercritical of my game, add new things, look at what I'm good at, not good at. Obviously, shooting threes off the dribble is something that, I haven't been good at in the past, and we really worked on that. While you're in the rehab process and you're not doing a lot of explosive stuff, what you can do is get up shots in different situations and just try to drill that. And it doesn't mean I'm going to turn to Steph Curry overnight, but, you want to consistently improve. And, I've been in the league 8 years and want to be in the league, another 8. So, want to keep getting better.
So what does it mean for you to see those results?
I mean, look, he's one of the best trainers in the game. I feel like I've improved every year of my career going back to 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of credit to him. I mean, I'm not surprised by improvement because I know the work that I put in, but I also know the tutelage that, I've been blessed to, be under both basketball wise and also, my body and, Mike G, Bertans, Fabrice, all those guys, Craig Sanchez, everybody that was a part of this.
Spencer, with Brad out today, did you take it upon yourself to be the #1 scoring option?
I wouldn't say #1 scoring option necessarily, but more aggressive for sure. You take out your #1, not just scorer, but probably playmaker, just in terms of the amount of havoc that he wreaks. And that's what I was brought in here to do, is to be the secondary playmaker. So if your primary is out, then your secondary has to play better. And it could have been Kuz scoring the most. It could have been Trez scoring the most again. And maybe I end up with, 12, 13 assists, but my job is to be aggressive.
Neil?
Hey, Spencer, what'd you think about the crowd tonight?
Oh, no, I mean, shoot, I was pleasantly surprised. I ain't gonna lie. I was a little worried, like, in the preseason, because, like, I could hear myself talk. But, yeah, y'all went crazy. So, hey, 2-0. Let's keep it rocking.
And does it do anything for, momentum to another level, just that you guys were able to have such a thrilling win without, your best player?
Yeah, of course. I think, home opener, crowd carrying us, big shots all the way around, high scoring games. So it was a fun game. It wasn't, a grinded out like 80, 85 game. It was fun all the way around. But to reach our highest ceiling, like, obviously we need Brad. We're going to need the best version of Brad. We're going to need, possibly league leading scorer, first team all NBA Brad. So, we're definitely looking forward to him returning soon.
Thanks, Spencer.
Christos?
Hey, Spencer, great game, first of all. What it means, that win, and the way that you won tonight, what kind of boost you get from that win?
I mean, I think I have a very pragmatic approach of not getting too high or too low, but I do understand that, you know, from what Brad's told us that, you know, they haven't been 1-0 in a while, and obviously that means you haven't been 2-0 in a while. So, you know, I think it's good to be have some healthy excitement. But you know, it's a long season, man. Like I'm sure there's teams that started off 2-0 before and, you know, missed the playoffs. So we have a long way to go, and that's coming from a guy that's been, you know, on a Nets team that was awful and won like 20 games, and also was a part of, you know, obviously a Nets team that was expected to win the championship. So, you know, there's been varied experience there.
And for you, how comfortable you feel when you have the ball in your hands or you take the shot in crunch time? How comfortable you feel in those times?
See, I don't think a lot of people know, like back in 1920 and 1819, like there was like a stat, like I was like the league leader in like game winners and stuff like that. So it's not something new. And look, I get it. Like I'm not the sexiest name, and nor do I subscribe to be, or you know what I'm saying, I ain't Dame or Steph or none of those guys, but like those things have happened. The proof's in the pudding. Like game winning shots, like we can go on YouTube and look at that. And you know, if Brad's out, I probably will be the one taking those. Most times I would say if Brad is in, and that's his shot to take, you know, or his play to make. So you just understand what's the best shot for our team, but it ain't no fear in those moments. Like in my opinion, I'm one of, if not the best in the league at it.
Kuzma was saying he was surprised by the crowd as well. After he mentioned the same thing with the preseason, and Montrez the other day, you know, with the being surprised with the 1-0. Was there some sort of like adjustment for the new guys on this team to like, all right, like, did you kind of not know what to expect basically being in a new city?
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're on an NBA team, you get really locked into that specific team. But it's not like you're studying the history of every other team. You study the current players and the tendencies and things like that. But, you know, I wasn't locked into like the Washington Wizards history. So I wouldn't know whether, you know, they had a bunch of 1-0 starts or not. So, you know, when that was brought up, you know, it was news to us. And you know, I think that goes for any NBA player in any situation. And our job as newcomers is to try to, you know, continue to build the culture that, you know, is kind of laid forth for us by, you know, Coach Unseld, and then also obviously Brad himself. So, and Shep too, who brought us here. So, you know, under the guidance of those three, like we're trying to help establish a foundation. So, you know, but knowing the history in general, like that's probably not what we're gonna know.
That's it, Spencer. Thank you.
Thank you.